So what does the role of luck play in street photography? Today we're just going to have a chat about a few images and what role luck took in us actually getting that image. And
yes, a comment that you see often with really great images from great photographers, or even just lesser known photographers. Oh, that was so lucky, and he was lucky to be there, he was lucky to get that moment. But how much does luck really play into getting some of those big, really good photographs?
Well, it's that saying from the golfer Lee Trevino, isn't it?
Yeah.
The harder I work, the luckier I get. And
absolutely,
luck does play a part, but by working hard, those things happen because you're there.
Yes.
So the luck does happen, but it's just because you're there a lot.
And then you have to take advantage of them
Absolutely.
in an effective way.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about some of our images and just try to explain what kind of role luck played into those images. So let's start from this one here.
This is an image I took in Camden Market, and it was relatively quiet, and we were kind of looking around for sort of different things to photograph, and I spotted this set of big sunglasses or big glasses with no lenses in, hanging above this guy's stall. And the guy sort of asked me what I was doing, and I just said, just using it as a backdrop. And I showed him a couple of pictures that I'd done, and I hadn't got the picture I wanted at that point. And it's this old thing, we keep sort of saying all the time, is choose your background, or choose where you're going to take the picture, and then wait for the right subjects to come into the frame. And that's the luck part. I've selected this pair of frames, and I know the picture I'm looking for, because I want people to basically be in each of the holes or the slots where the lenses are. Ideally, I was looking for 3 to start with, but I got even luckier and I got 4. But that was the luck element. It was kind of waiting there, and we were together on this on this day, and I probably stayed there, 45 minutes. The guy didn't mind, it was quite quiet, and we were chatting every now and again, and then someone would start coming through the frame, and I sort of got up and
set it up again.
Set it up, and I was holding the camera quite high because this thing was hanging from the ceiling, so people could actually walk under it. So I had the camera sort of above my head, and I was using the flip out screen, and just waiting for the right people to fill the frame to get what I was looking for. So I knew what I was looking for, and then the luck element struck in.
And so we got the, what would we call it according to the poker hands? 2 pairs.
2 pairs. Yeah.
And it's actually quite a nice shot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
I tried doing this shot 3 or 4 times when I was in India, because you see these old bikes with these great big saddles and these huge springs, and the gap is literally sort of, it's about 4 inches. It's really, really big.
They're quite big. Well, you can see it on the back of the other saddle there.
Yeah, and you can. I just thought, if I get really close to this, I can use it as a frame.
Yeah.
And so I was there probably the best part of an hour in this little location, just waiting for the right elements to come together. The bike I've shot through was stationary, so it was just there. So it was there as my frame, and it was a great background. It was just a nice solid background, and there were people walking past pretty constantly, but I needed the right combination, and that's where the luck element come in. And I got very lucky in that you had 2 people cycling in opposite directions, and so that makes a nice little triangle. And then the 3rd triangle is made by the other piece of luck with the guy actually sitting in the back. And I was trying to just get 1 or 2 people in the frame, but I got this 3rd person, and he fitted perfectly because he was sitting down. You had to be quite quick to get this shot, because these guys were cycling relatively fast. They weren't. It wasn't they weren't walking past. They were cycling. They're busy. They're going about their work. But that was the element of luck, if you like.
Yeah.
But it was knowing what you're looking for, and then when that happens, take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
I think I took 5 or 6 pictures of this frame just to make sure I got it absolutely sort of spot on.
And in these cases, luck is going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
It just depends on how long you have to wait. So that's where the luck is. It's just how early that happens. The earlier, the more lucky you are. But it's going to happen because you know what you want.
And you hear it on a lot of really good street photographers, and everyone says, "Gosh, you were lucky you got that shot." And yes, it is a little bit of luck, but when you're going out doing street photography, you need to treat it as a job, and you need to go out and do it. It's no point going out, with your partner if she's not interested in photography and says, "Oh, go and take your camera and go and do a few pictures," because it doesn't work like that.
No, you have to concentrate. You have to really.
Yeah, you
really
need to go out with a
zone.
purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to go and photograph this type of thing and look for it and then stay with it. And you could say this one here, I was staying there for 1 hour, just to wait for this picture to come together.
Absolutely. Going on to this is according to Poker Hands. It's a 3.
A 3.
Yep. And then from the Poker Hands, we have a Royal Flush.
Royal Flush, yeah. This is one of those images that probably just comes together once in a lifetime almost. I visited this location for 8 or 9 years in a row. I mean, I always go to Kolkata when I'm in India, and I always go when I'm in Kolkata to the flower market, and I probably spend 2-3 mornings of my trip down there because there's so much going on. And but there are areas that you need to look for, and I know in this flower market, although it's quite a large complex, there's probably only 4 or 5 places that you can actually take great pictures, and this is one of them. And this scene, I walked through it, and I've done lots of pictures in this location. It's actually the tunnel underneath the motorway and the railway above, and so you've got this lovely light sort of streaming in from both ends. You've got the sunlight coming in one way, and you've got the sort of the backlight or the light just coming in from the backs. But it's only like it at certain times of day. Midday it's not like it at all because the sun is right above us. But
right above.
Early morning it's coming sort of a nice angle.
When we went there, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. What was it?
Even earlier. I think we got there. Literally as the sun was rising.
Yeah.
We were up at like 4:30 in the morning to get there for like 5 o'clock, 5:30. This is, when I say luck, we say luck in street photography. The luck presented itself to me here, and I walked through, and this shot was there. It just presented itself to me, and I shot this on a 35mm. I was stood against virtually the other wall to get the whole sort of the scene in. And the lighting, it's almost like biblical, I think. It's just, I mean, a lot of photographers have seen this picture and they just say, "How did you like this?" And it's just natural light. So yeah, that's the luck was seeing the image, but going back on a regular basis, and many times, probably 18-20 times I've visited this location. But when you saw it and it presented itself to you, taking advantage of it.
Exactly.
And I only took 4 or 5 pictures of this because it then moved.
Yeah, absolutely. And these scenes don't last very long at all. You have to take advantage of them straight away, and that is part of the experience and the ability and skills of getting everything right straight away. The settings, the focusing, the framing, etc. Knowing exactly where to stand, how to. I'm certain that you haven't started shooting the scene and then decided, "Oh, I'm too close, I need to roll back." You just went back straight away because you knew you had to get back to frame the whole thing.
But that's the advantage of using a fixed focal lens, because
exactly, yeah.
I'm a 35mm person, and I just can know where to go to or position myself to get the shot I want. And exactly. That if that's a portrait of 2 people or portrait of 1 person, or a group of 4 or 5, you kind of just go there. And I know you're 50mm and you do the same with that.
Yeah.
put a zoom on, and I'd be
And you
all
start
over the
thinking,
place.
Yeah, you start thinking, do I zoom in, do I zoom out, where do I position myself? You start fiddling around and you just lose shots.
Whereas with that prime, you just go there.
Yeah, exactly. So, coming to
your shots,
mine, this is a shot that, like the ones that you were describing before, I envisioned before taking. There is a graffiti that is not there anymore. It's been scratched away from the wall. Of this kind of stick man with the hands up that I thought would be making a great backdrop to give antlers to somebody walking by. So I returned to the scene in 3 different days because it wouldn't come up. It would just I couldn't get it because you need to get the person in the right place, the right height, in the right position facing us, because we want to see the nose, we want to see the front of the person, it's not just the back. And I spent probably around about 2 hours in total in this location over the course of 3 different days. And on this 3rd day there was this homeless person in the back, which I do think adds a context to the picture. It's not the subject, but it adds a counterbalance and a context. And I was still waiting there as usual, and this guy came about and had the really kind gesture of looking a little bit to the side like this, just aligning himself almost perfectly there. And all I had to do is just duck and weave a little bit, click, got it. And I knew at that point I finally got the picture.
I think it's a great picture, and it's a great example of choosing the right location, getting that element of luck, but also it's a great example of micro composition.
Yes.
And just moving, and you say duck and weave, just moving up and down a little bit to make sure compositionally it worked, because if you went up a little bit or down a little bit, it wouldn't work, or to the left a little bit, to the right, it wouldn't work. You need to be absolutely spot on, and that's kind of you just moving around those fractions just to make sure that.
But those fractions will make such a difference. It's
absolutely
just amazing.
It would make or break the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. So, coming to the next one. This one is a bit of a different kind of scene. This one I had only one chance to get this one here, because this is the Arty Festival in Varanasi. It happens every night, but we were there only once, and it lasts 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. So the first thing I wanted to do was to get a different perspective on this festival. It's been photographed millions of times.
Sure.
So you want to get something different. And I started getting to the side. I started aligning these guys up in a different way, trying not to get too many people on, too many spectators there, because they would take too much color and attention from the eye. And then I started thinking, how do I get something interesting? And seeing these, how would you call them, channeliers or?
I don't know. You're talking about.
And I started seeing that this guy was cycling around. I started moving myself because I started seeing that the second guy in the row, was starting appearing in the space in there. So what I did, I simply focused on him, and I started waiting for that cycle to come through, and just trying to click, and I didn't have a camera shooting fast, so it just was a click in a matter of timing.
I mean, this was taken on your Leica, wasn't it?
On the Leica,
so
yes.
It's manual focus.
And it was just one shot at a time, and just waiting for him to go through and just getting it right every single time. And the matter of luck is to get it exactly right, because this cycling of this item, it was all the time slightly different. And so I got him right in there, and the real luck is him looking at his partner there. Had he been looking somewhere else, had he been looking off in the distance, it would have been a completely different picture. This is what we call also the moment, the eye contact, something that actually adds that little more to the image. So there was quite a bit of work involved in the picture, and the matter of luck is exactly that look and the exact positioning. So yes, luck has a role, but you need to make it.
Oh, of course. And your final shot?
Final shot. This is again Kolkata car parts market, used car parts market. Fascinating place to go. It's amazing how we would never see anything like that in this country. They are recycling so much stuff, reworking even just the rims of trucks, reworking the whole thing, putting them back together. It's amazing. And what happened here? I saw this scene and I decided to start trying to put heads in spaces. Chose my background, got myself set up, and of course my, call it anchor point, was the guy framed by the blue railing there.
Because he was stationary.
It was stationary, it was staying there, so if he was turning the head, I just had to adjust a little bit my composition just to keep him in there, and I started from there. And then waiting. That was waiting for this guy that was in front to move around. He was moving all the time, and I was waiting for him to be in the right space in between, not to cover anybody else. Luck there is the guy in red back there.
And that fills that space, doesn't it?
It fills that space and it gives us balance to the whole picture, so I could actually keep the umbrella in. If the guy wasn't there, there would be just a black space there. I would have to either crop the picture in, or, well, it wouldn't be the same thing. It just wouldn't work.
And because all these things we're talking about with luck, and people say, well, aren't you obtrusive by you'll stay hanging around, or I wouldn't want to hang around there for so long. But actually it's the absolute opposite. By being in one spot for so long, you actually become part of the scene. And you're totally unobtrusive, and it doesn't matter what size camera you've got or how tall you are or short you are. You become part of the scene by just being there, and you might not necessarily stand totally still, but you might just sort of walk around the little figure of eight, a couple of little scenes, but keeping your eye on what's going on one scene while shooting the other one. But you'll be in that vicinity, so part of what's going on there, and you can stay there as long as you like.
People will notice you at the beginning, but as long as you are courteous, smile, acknowledge them, etc., they will just lose interest in you very fast.
And sometimes, I've gone to a scene like this, and there's nothing there happening, but it's a good position or a good backdrop, and you might just have a coffee opposite, but you're still part of that scene because you're there and thereabouts, and it's not like you run into that place to try and grab that picture and then run out again. You've become part of the fabric of that little bit of society.
Absolutely. And it's fascinating because in India they really don't mind you taking pictures.
It's
so easy to take pictures of them.
But so anyway, I hope you've really enjoyed that today. We've enjoyed talking about three of our sort of favourite images each. Give us a big thumbs up, like us, subscribe, and
I would say, just as a takeaway, make your own luck. Be out there, go out and shoot. The scenes will happen even if you're not there, so be there for the scenes to happen and for you to capture them. And practice. And just practice, be skillful with your camera, and luck will present itself.
And if you've got any shots that you feel meet the criteria like this, you've spent a long time somewhere, come and join our Facebook group. It's called Shoot the Street. It's a really friendly place, and we'd love to see your images there. Thank you very much once again. It's goodbye from Mark and
Flavio. Goodbye.
Goodbye.